Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the elk draw reveal here at the Mountain Arts Center in Prestonsburg, Kentucky. I am lucky enough to be the mayor of Prestonsburg, Kentucky. And I say lucky enough because I get to work with Fish and Wildlife. I get to work with the staff here at the MAC that make things like this happen. They make the magic happen. So we've got people on lights, we've got people on audio, we've got people on video. And it took a lot of work to be able to put this together and to make it look as smooth as they do. So if you don't mind, let's give them a hand real quick. So the elk draw reveal, and I just want to give you a quick background on it. What happens is of the 90,000 applications that were in, they went into a computer program, and a CPA firm has generated a computer list of who wins. And then we'll be reading them off in the following fashion. We'll have the bull week 1, bull firearm week 1, bull firearm week 2. Then we'll have cow firearm week 1 and cow firearm week 2. And then we'll have the archery, which is either gender. So it'll take a while. We have some events going to happen in between. But, you know, we cannot have this event without our Fish and Wildlife, who is out there working feverishly every day to make sure that people are safe, make sure that the game is cultivated properly, and we're not wasting away our resources. And, you know, they are such an effective group of people, and they do so much positive work with the kids and everything, and it all boils down to their leader. And I consider their leader a good friend of mine. And it's with great honor that I want to welcome Commissioner Rich Storm to the stage.
Thank you, Les. Thank you, everybody that's in attendance today. I want to start this with just big thank yous. The sportsmen and sportswomen of Kentucky, you make this all possible. This MAC Center, what a wonderful place to have this unveiling right in the heart of the elk zone. The city of Prestonsburg, just a beautiful place that I hold near and dear. A lot of history personally here, just a great representative for Kentucky. The Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife Resources, who I represent, and the Fish and Wildlife Commission. Thank you, Paul Horn, for all the great work you do for the board. I have a few points. I'm going to keep it down to 24 or less elk hunting points. I'm just kidding those of you that don't know my personality. I worried during this pandemic that the Department of Fish and Wildlife would suffer. Who knew what was going to happen? And you all just knocked it out of the park. So if you weren't hoarding toilet paper, hand sanitizer, and gasoline, you were hunting and fishing. And license sales have steadily increased, and not only in 20, but also in 21. 90% of the people today that are going to be drawn are going to be Kentuckians. I think it's very important. There are sometimes misconceptions out there. There's going to be 535 Kentuckians drawn today for 594 permits. You are investors and stockholders in the Department of Fish and Wildlife. You're investing in conservation. Our elk herd thrives because of your investment. I hope you know that. If you apply today and you're not drawn, your dollars are going toward conservation. We appreciate it. What else can you do? I practice what I preach, and this is the main theme of my message today. John F. Kennedy said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." And so I think that rings true. It always has. Waiting on somebody else to do something is not what we're looking for. We want you to come here and invest in your own property, your neighbor's property, your lease, whatever you have. 95% of this state's private property. Take the time, carve out a section. Do something to help us. You can invest in our state. You can harvest timber. You can make some money when you harvest timber. You can trap predators and plant a food plot. You can delay mowing practices. We have a litany of things that you can do. You can reach out to our private lands biologist. It's a free service. We'll tell you what you can do to further enhance Kentucky. Our elk herd is second to none, absolutely second to none. And we're proud of Eastern Kentucky. We're excited about what we can do here. I want to tell you that our conservation camps are open this year. We're excited about that. That helps us promote conservation. We'll be at 60% capacity. If you don't have a kid and you can't send them to conservation camp, sponsor one. Send somebody to camp. Put structure in a pond. There's so many things you can do, and you can check us out at fw.ky.gov, and we have all kinds of ideas. But I just want to say, no pun intended here, take the bull by the horns and help Kentucky be a better place. Help your neighbor. Go pick up some trash. Do something to make Kentucky better. I want to close here and say I'm honored to be here. I wish you good luck. I hope everybody's drawn. It can't happen mathematically, but your dollars are well spent. Thank you again. God bless our outdoors, and God bless Kentucky. Thank you all.
So, we can't have this without our sponsors, and behind us you'll see sumex23.com, sponsor Kentucky Wild Fish and Wildlife, and what it all boils down to is the sportsmen that get involved. That's what it's all about. Now, I know y'all not here to listen to me talk, so I'm going to begin. And this will be the Bull Firearm Week 1. Franklin H. Abney, Berea, Kentucky. Lyman Alexander, Danville, Kentucky. Brandon Allen, Sellersburg, Indiana. Thomas Anderson, Austin, Texas. Adam Bernard, Owensboro, Kentucky. Paige Baker, Barberville, Kentucky. Donald Balt, Elkhorn, Kentucky. Michael, Kentucky. Matthew Bies, Walton, Kentucky. Kenneth Boyd, Brandenburg, Kentucky. Frederick Brady, Bardstown, Kentucky. Brock Brown, Virgie, Kentucky. Joshua Brownfield, DeMossville, Kentucky. Caleb Bussell, Louisville, Kentucky. Rick Campbell, Lexington, Kentucky. Christopher Case, Burlington, Kentucky. Stephen Case, Philpott, Kentucky. Todd Christian, Prospect, Kentucky. Jaron Coffin, Milton, Kentucky. Aaron Kahn, Banner, Kentucky. That's a Floyd County native here. William Cotton, Hanson, Kentucky. Christopher Couch, Cox Creek, Kentucky. Sean Crow, Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Jason Datillo, LaGrange, Kentucky. Blake Davidson, Elizabethton, Kentucky. Jeffrey Davis, Lexington, Kentucky. Johnny Day, Corbin, Kentucky. Jonathan Elkins, Pikeville, Kentucky. Billy Estep, Dorton, Kentucky. Stephen Estes Jr., Cave City, Kentucky. Charles Fain, Lexington, Kentucky. Y'all don't know this, but where I had to back space to catch up on right there, my tech guys are going, because they know how easy it is for me to mess things up. Jacob Fetters, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Jason Fiscus, Crittenden, Kentucky. William Flickinger, Jamestown, Kentucky. Joshua Garland, London, Kentucky. Barry I. Gibson, Louisville, Kentucky. John Gibson, Terre Haute, Indiana. Nicholas Hibbs, Mount Washington, Kentucky. Brett Hornback, Louisville, Kentucky. Brian Johnson, Jenkins, Kentucky. Denise Johnson, Erlanger, Kentucky. Terry Jones, Baghdad, Kentucky. Reed Leonhardt, Evansville, Indiana. Terry Martin, Surleon, Kentucky. I missed that one, I'm sorry. Scott Mattingly, Lebanon, Kentucky. Thomas McQuarrie, Irvington, Kentucky. Mendel Ensico, Quality, Kentucky. James Mitchell, Sturgis, Kentucky. John Lee Osborne, Winchester, Kentucky. Crew Parento, Union, Kentucky. Jonathan Patrick, Inez, Kentucky. John Perkins, Moorhead, Kentucky. Austin Peters, Boonville, Kentucky. Timothy Phillips, Stearns, Kentucky. Todd Rickman, Richmond, Kentucky. Hillman Roundy, Dunville, Kentucky. Trent Rumford, Brooksville, Kentucky. Joseph Sowell, Jackson, Kentucky. Isaac Sims, Paducah, Kentucky. Terry Skaggs, Moorhead, Kentucky. Timothy Skaggs, Jr., Mount Sherman, Kentucky. Michael Sosa, Eagle River, Arkansas. Chad Stevens, Lewisburg, Kentucky. Darla Sullivan, Ghent, Kentucky. Natasha Taylor, Mount Olivet, Kentucky. Susan Tongue, Burnside, Kentucky. Jason Treesh, Borden, Indiana. Chase Venable, Paducah, Kentucky. Jackie Wachter, California, Kentucky. Tamara Ward, Catlettsburg, Kentucky. Donald Ward, Jr., Beattyville, Kentucky. Hansel Webb, Boonscamp, Kentucky. Zachary Wheeler, Cynthiana, Kentucky. James Williams, Frankfort, Kentucky. James Williams, Spotsville, Kentucky. And that ends week one. I got to grab a drink of water and we'll go into week two.
When you're working traffic here in Prestonsburg, dealing with death and injuries is an unfortunate part of the job.
If writing a ticket can prevent tragedies like the ones I've seen, I will do it.
Why? Because it saves lives.
This changes everything. Gearhart TV is available now. It's the digital TV service delivered to your smart TV or connected devices by Gearhart Broadband. Sign up now at mygtv.com.
So you're a country music fan, and your favorite star is from the Country Music Highway. Is it Loretta Lynn, Dwight Yoakam, Chris Stapleton, or the new rising star Tyler Childers? How do you keep up with all the information going on in their hometown? Go to cmh23.com for concerts, history, festivals. cmh23.com. Say hello to the Country Music Highway.
When you're working traffic in Kentucky, responding to crashes involving injury or death is a tough part of our job.
Less than 2 seconds. That's all the time it takes to buckle up.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws? It's not about writing tickets. It's about saving lives.
Spring has sprung at Appalachian Wireless, and a new deal on the biggest little iPhone has just arrived. The iPhone 12 mini 64 gig comes with massive features and is the perfect pocket size. Best of all, Appalachian Wireless is offering the iPhone 12 mini for just $99.99 with a 2-year contract. Good things do come in small packages, and the iPhone mini on the region's best network is just that. But don't wait, this deal won't last long. Visit a retail location or go to AppalachianWireless.com to get this amazing deal. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
Remember when everything under the sun was new? When a walk was an adventure to a magical place? A boat ride was a chance to play pirate? Freedom was riding your bike and making new friends. Every dinner was followed by dessert, and the stars never shine so bright.
They say this is making memories.
You can work at home, play in Prestonsburg.
When you're working traffic across Pike County, responding to crashes involving injuries or deaths is a tough part of our job.
Less than 2 seconds. That's all the time it takes to buckle up.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws? It's not about writing tickets. It's about saving lives.
Smart devices make our lives better, but they're also susceptible to hackers. That's why Plume helps identify when a device is acting strange.
You mean like talking to itself for no reason?
I'm talking to the audience.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're going to begin with the bull firearm, week 2. Bull firearm, week 2. John Abner, Stanton, Kentucky. Ben Afshari, Lexington, Kentucky. William Atkins, Georgetown, Kentucky. Thomas Barlow, Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Melinda Barnett, Springfield, Kentucky. David Bowling, London, Kentucky. Jeff Branham, Albany, Kentucky. Jamie Brooks, Means, Kentucky. Matthew Browell, Mackville, Kentucky. James Brown, Scottsville, Kentucky. Hugh Birchfield, Lake Wiley, South Carolina. Teddy Burden, Morgantown, Kentucky. Lester Ray Byler, Cub Run, Kentucky. Richard Carr, Ashland, Kentucky. Brian Cassidy, Louisa, Kentucky. William Coffey, Louisville, Kentucky. Roger J. Coleman, Elkhorn City, Kentucky. My hometown, by the way. Joseph Conley, Louisville, Kentucky. Dwayne Cook, Georgetown, Kentucky. Michael Covert, Yacolt, Washington. Jonathan Coyle, Lexington, Kentucky. Jeffrey Dennis, Vanderbilt, Pennsylvania. Zebulon DeHart, Cadiz, Kentucky. Dennis Mackey, Robards, Kentucky. Sean Ditzel, Louisville, Kentucky. Mariam Dodd, Louisville, Kentucky. Evan Dupree, Crestwood, Kentucky. Kenneth Fisher, London, Kentucky. Nathaniel Floyd, Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Timothy Fugit, Eubank, Kentucky. Melinda Gray, Camelsville, Kentucky. Colin Green, Union, Kentucky. Jacob Gregg, Shelbyville, Kentucky. Casey Hall, Crittenden, Kentucky. Brock Hall, Pinetop, Kentucky. Megan Hall, Louisa, Kentucky. Joanne Hammond, Stanville, Kentucky. Joshua Hancock, Monticello, Kentucky. Joseph Hawkins, Frankfort, Kentucky. Corey Hinton, Shreveport, Louisiana. Michael Homer, Louisville, Kentucky. Matthew Hopkins, Ezell, Kentucky. Nicholas Howard, Roark, Kentucky. Andrew Hughes, Boonville, Kentucky. Larry Halsey, Crofton, Kentucky. Chris Hunt, Camelsville, Kentucky. Joshua Jenkins, Mayfield, Kentucky. Ernie Justice, Hardy, Kentucky. Harold Lathram, Bowling Green, Kentucky. Ronald Martini, California, Kentucky. Laura Martaglio, Winchester, Kentucky. Jeremy McDaniel, Perryville, Kentucky. Dylan McMahon, Calhoun, Kentucky. Jonathan Miller, Crab Orchard, Kentucky. Josiah Miller, Irving, Kentucky. Cameron Mobley, Bowling Green, Kentucky. Wade Neese, Lost Creek, Kentucky. Valerie Newton, Louisville, Kentucky. Johnny Patrick, 4 Mile, Kentucky. James Petrie, Shelbyville, Kentucky. Randall Powers, Ashland, Kentucky. Shelby Rice, Mount Washington, Kentucky. Taylor Sang, Louisville, Kentucky. Roy Sawyers, Shelbyana, Kentucky. Gary Stallings, Cox Creek, Kentucky. Gary Steele, Fisherville, Kentucky. Joshua Tackett, Simpsonville, South Carolina. Gary Wallace, London, Kentucky. Daniel Walsh, Roanoke, Virginia. Joshua Whitt, Owensboro, Kentucky. Paul Went, Hellertown, Pennsylvania. Stephanie Wright, Sandy Hook, Kentucky. James Yankee, Mount Washington, Kentucky. David Young, London, Kentucky. James Young, Princeton, Kentucky. And that ends our bull firearm week 2, and we're going to commercial. Is that right? See, he takes care of me.
So you're a country music fan, and your favorite star is from the Country Music Highway. Is it Loretta Lynn, Dwight Yoakam, Chris Stapleton, or the new rising star Tyler Childers? How do you keep up with all the information going on in their hometown? Go to CMH23.com for concerts, history, festivals. CMH23.com. Say hello to the Country Music Highway.
When you're working traffic across Pike County, responding to crashes involving injuries or deaths is a tough part of our job.
Less than 2 seconds. That's all the time it takes to buckle up.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws? It's not about writing tickets. It's about saving lives.
When you're working traffic in Kentucky, responding to crashes involving injury or death is a tough part of our job.
Less than 2 seconds. That's all the time it takes to buckle up.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws? It's not about writing tickets. It's about saving lives.
Smart devices make our lives better, but they're also susceptible to hackers. That's why Plume helps identify when a device is acting strange.
You mean like talking to itself for no reason?
I'm talking to the audience.
Spring has sprung at Appalachian Wireless, and a new deal on the biggest little iPhone has just arrived. The iPhone 12 mini 64 gig comes with massive features and is the perfect pocket size. Best of all, Appalachian Wireless is offering the iPhone 12 mini for just $99.99 with a 2-year contract. Good things do come in small packages, and the iPhone mini on the region's best network is just that. But don't wait, this deal won't last long. Visit a retail location or go to AppalachianWireless.com to get this amazing deal. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
Remember when everything under the sun was new? When a walk was an adventure to a magical place? A boat ride was a chance to play pirate? Freedom was riding your bike and making new friends. Every dinner was followed by dessert, and the stars never shine so bright.
They say this is making memories.
You can work at home, play in Prestonsburg.
When you're working traffic here in Prestonsburg, dealing with death and injuries is an unfortunate part of the job.
If writing a ticket can prevent tragedies like the ones I've seen, I will do it.
Why? Because it saves lives.
This changes everything. Gearhart TV is available now. It's the digital TV service delivered to your smart TV or connected devices by Gearhart Broadband. Sign up now at mygtv.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to get some technical expertise from a guide, an outfitter here in Kentucky. It's Kentucky Wild LLC and owner Bill Carmen. Please welcome him to the stage.
Thank you. Can everybody hear me? Okay. All right, I'm Bill Carmen. I'm with Kentucky Wild LLC, and I'm an elk guide, a fly fishing guide. I do fly fishing seminars, and I also am an outdoor writer, and you can see my books out in the lobby. Let's see if this clicker works here. Well, what do you know? Before we go any further, I want to put a plug in for the Kentucky Association. They have a booth there. All right, we have one person clapping over here. We have a booth out in the lobby. If you are selected, you can go on the KEGA Facebook page to get a list of all the guides that are members of KEGA. We might, if we have time, we'll talk about that a little more as we move forward. So the title for this talk today is I Just Shot an Elk, Now What? By the way, they've limited me to 3 hours. Is that all right? You think I can? No, I'm going to try and limit this to about 20 or 30 minutes. I just shot an elk, now what? If I've heard that once, I've heard it 1,000 times. We get an elk down, and a first-time elk hunter walks up to the animal, and they go, holy smokes, now what? And this talk today will deal a little bit about some of the things you need to know. Okay, the important thing to do, whether you're hunting with a guide, and hopefully the guide will take care of a lot of this, but whether you're hunting with a guide or with, if you're doing it yourself, is to pre-plan. Think about all the things that you're going to need and the things you're going to need to do in advance. Don't put that stuff off until you've got a dead elk on the ground in 85-degree temperatures. You don't want to do that. You want to pre-plan and think about all the things you're going to need. Okay, so imagine this. You just shot a bull elk in difficult terrain, and you're 3 miles from the nearest Jeep road. Are you prepared? What do you do? And that happens all the time. Now remember, a bull elk's going to weigh 700 to 900 pounds. It's not like a white-tailed deer where you can put a rope around its neck and drag it out of the woods. This is a monster animal, so you need to be prepared. So this is just some of the gear that I use and you might think about having with you. Well, before we even go any further with that, just remember when you get that animal to the vehicle, whether it's in pieces or the whole thing, then you got to figure out what to do with it. So you need to pre-plan your coolers, your ice, where you're going to take it afterward, and all that sort of thing. But let's talk just a little bit about the gear you might need. Pack frames are critical if you've got an animal down where you can't get a vehicle to it. So along with that, rope and bungee cords to tie the pieces of that animal to the pack frame. You'll need knives, a sharpener, and a saw. I use a pruning saw. In terms of knives, a lot of people use the outdoor edge knives with the replaceable blades. I actually prefer to use just a good solid knife that you can resharpen. You're going to go through a couple of blades if you're dealing with a full elk. So again, I'll just like to use a good solid knife. Game bags to put that meat in, particularly early season when there are a lot of insects flying around. It doesn't take long for flies to get on that meat. And you can take the meat, put it in game bags, hang it up, put it in the shade, and that'll keep the insects off and keep the meat cool. I prefer to use a tarp. I carry one with me when I'm elk hunting so that if we do get an elk down, I can put that tarp on the ground and use that tarp to lay meat and other pieces of the elk so that they don't get leaves and dirt and that sort of thing on them. Also carry a nylon tarp if it's either pouring rain or it's really hot, sunny. I can rig that tarp up as a sunshade or a rain shade. Water, Gatorade, and energy bars. This is hard work. So at least have water with you because it is, again, it will drain you. Some kind of hoist system, particularly if you shoot that elk late in the evening and you might not be able to get back to get all of it until the next morning, you want to get those pieces of meat off the ground for two reasons. It lets air circulate around them, and then if you can get it high enough in the right position, you might be able to keep bears off of it. There are a lot of bears in Kentucky, and quite often they'll be right on an elk carcass. A headlamp and flashlight, remember, elk move most right at daylight and right at dark. And so if you kill one right before dark, you're going to be dealing with that big animal in the dark. So make sure you have a headlamp or a flashlight. Rubber gloves. I prefer to wear gloves simply because I don't want to get my hands all dirty. And of course, they do help prevent diseases. And to some degree, they'll help prevent you from getting cut. Not totally, but to some degree. Toilet paper and first aid kit. In addition to what you would normally use toilet paper for, a couple of rolls of toilet paper is a good way to soak up blood on the inside of the body cavity of an elk or a deer. I'm sure you've all used that for deer before. If you do that, don't just leave that toilet paper lying in the woods. Bag it up and take it with you. That could, if a bear or some other animal gets into that toilet paper, it could, cause them some physical damage as well. First aid kit in case you're cut or you hurt yourself when you're dealing with this. And trekking poles. Now, I'm getting up there in years, and I all the time use trekking poles when I'm hiking, fishing, and particularly elk hunting, and particularly if I'm carrying 70 or 80 or 90 pounds on my back. It's so much easier to have that third leg or that fourth leg to help you with your balance when you're hiking. Okay, don't forget coolers. If you have the resources to get a really good cooler like a Yeti or one of these super duper coolers that keeps ice cold for a long time, it's a good idea to keep one in your vehicle with ice in it all the time, because it's probably going to take you multiple trips to the vehicle to bring all that meat, and it's better if you can put the meat that you've got at the vehicle on ice. So if you can keep an iced cooler with you all the time. Now, what I usually advise people is to haul around a quartered elk. You need 2 100-quart coolers for, each cooler will have one ham and one shoulder, and then 1 or 2 48-quart coolers for the back straps, the tenderloins, the heart, liver, and the neck and rib meat. 2 is probably better because you can, get more ice in there. And again, don't forget the ice, and don't forget to think about where you're going to buy ice. You might not have enough initially to really cover that meat up, but you need to pre-plan that. For instance, there's a little country store near where I elk hunt a lot, but they're not open on Sunday mornings. So you need to think about that, talk to these folks, and figure out where you can buy ice. So again, pre-planning. Pack frames are really important. Now, what I started doing last year is carrying a larger internal frame pack, soft pack, with my hunting gear in it and just leaving a lot of room in it for meat. And the reason I do that is what I used to do is if my hunter killed a bull or a cow, I would hoof it back to the car and get a couple of pack frames and come back. Or if my hunter had never field dressed or never dealt with a dead big game animal, I would be doing that and let my hunter hoof it back to the car to get the pack frames. Well, what I started doing last year, and it makes a lot of sense, is carrying with me all the time a large pack frame. The one on the top there is Kuyu's largest frame or largest pack, and I use that now so that when I make that first trip back to the car to get additional pack frames, I can at least carry one load of meat with me when I'm doing that, and that saves on one full load of meat. Kuyu makes the one on top. The one in the middle is made by Cabela's, and the one on the bottom is made by Kelty. Sportsman's Warehouse carries the Kelty pack. Kuyu's an online deal, and then the Cabela's pack frame, you can get those at Cabela's. And the ones on the bottom are just the frames. They have a fold-down shelf. In terms of additional gear, we've got on the left there, we've got the trekking poles. On the top there, we've got a couple of knives, got a small first aid kit. I've got toilet paper. I've got 2 tarps there. If you'll look, I've got a roll of painter's drop cloth material. And then I've also got a big nylon tarp folded up on the far right on the bottom. Rubber gloves. The game bags are in that bag, that orange bag. Above that is a hoist system that I can use to pull those quarters up if I have to leave them overnight. And then bungees and rope on the top, and then of course a water bottle. And I've got, if you look in the middle there, you'll see some candy bars as well, some energy bars. So that's just generally the stuff that I carry with me all the time. Field quartering. So this is a cow elk a gal named Mandy killed 2 years ago, and I just drew on there the different parts of the elk that you're trying to retrieve. The shoulder, well, how many in here have quartered an elk or quartered a deer before? A whole lot of people? A few, good. So what you're going to do, the low-hanging fruit, well, let me back up. You can field dress the animal first if you want to, but if you don't want the heart or the liver, you can wait to get the tenderloin, the internal tenderloin, until after you get everything else. In other words, you don't have to field dress it first. But if you do want to field dress it first, use that tarp or use a tarp to drag all that stuff out onto the tarp and drag it out of the way. You can get to work on the elk. So the shoulder is the part up here. That's the low-hanging fruit. It takes about a minute to remove an elk shoulder or a deer shoulder. The ham is the butt part. It takes a little longer to remove a ham, and we're going to go through this in a few minutes. The back strap is the column of meat. There are 2 of them, one on either side of the spine. Great eating. That, in my opinion, that's the best eating on an elk. The neck, a lot of people don't like deer or elk necks, but the meat is really good. It makes great roasts, and it's better to trim that neck meat off than carry that whole neck, because that neck is really heavy. The rib meat, a lot of people leave it, but it's great hamburger, and there's a lot of it on an elk. The heart and the liver, I love elk heart. I'm not a real fan of elk liver, but some people are, so you can get those. And then you've got the tenderloin, which is the kind of the internal back strap. It's not as big. Oop, what'd I do? Help me out, somebody. Let's see here. What'd I do? Hit the wrong button. I just found out you can take a picture with a telephone. We had it up there. Okay, so can you go to, I think you go to slideshow maybe. Is that the next one? Let's see. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Using tarps to keep everything clean. Now, a lot of these photos I'm going to show you are white-tailed deer. It's an identical animal in terms of the process. It's just that an elk is 3 times bigger. So just kind of keep that in mind. So again, I use tarps to keep everything clean. The shoulder, you can see on, it's easy to pull off. You basically just cut behind the shoulder blade and just keep pulling it up. It takes 2 people usually to do this because somebody's got to hold that, that big limb up. But shoulders come right off. They're so easy to get. And you need to experiment on it, but you just cut behind the shoulder blade and just keep slicing. It'll come right off. The ham is a little more difficult. You've got to start working your way around the pelvis. Just keep your knife blade next to the pelvis. Be careful not to cut into any of the digestive system of the elk. And then when you get down in there, you're going to find a ball joint. And if you can take that knife and cut that cartilage free, it's kind of a white translucent cartilage that's around that ball joint. If you can cut that free, there's a little bitty tendon in there. Take the point of your knife and cut that little tendon, and that whole ham will just basically fall loose. And then you can you can cut around it and remove it. A lot of people will saw the pelvis. I usually don't do that. It's not super necessary to do. Removing the ham, again, you're basically just doing it just like you do the shoulder, except you've got to cut through that ball joint. And you can see that an elk ham is a little bit bigger than a deer ham there. The back strap, everybody knows how to remove a back strap. It's kind of like filleting a fish. You're basically just going to run your knife down underneath that column of meat on either side of the spine, and you can feel your knife skipping over those ribs, and you'll know you're doing it right if you get really close to those ribs. And a back strap on an elk's probably about, a big bull's probably about that long, about that big around, and it is dynamite meat. It's awesome. That's a white-tailed deer back strap. Rib meat, tremendous hamburger meat. Now, a lot of people on whitetails, they'll actually cut off the whole rib rack and use it, to cook. But I prefer on an elk just to cut down on weight, just go ahead and remove the meat and use it separately. Because again, that's anything you can do to save weight is really important. The neck roast, just slice down on either side of the neck, and it's kind of like taking off the back straps. Pull those bad boys off, and that'll save you a lot of weight too to do that. And then field dressing. Now, again, you don't have to field dress one before you quarter it, but some people prefer to do that. As you can see, you're going to be in up to your shoulders when you're field dressing an elk. You've got to reach way up in there to cut the esophagus and the trachea and drag all that out. But if you're going to get the heart and the liver, you got to do it whether you do it before or after you quarter the animal. And then, of course, you can get the internal tenderloins, which run just like the back straps, only they're on the inside, and they're not as big, but they're really good meat as well. Now, the hooves on a white-tailed deer are not that heavy, the lower part of the leg. And in fact, you can use that to hold the quarters like a big handle. But on an elk, that lower leg is big and heavy. You can imagine what the lower leg on a beef cow is. An elk's very similar to that. So what I like to do is remove the lower leg at the knee, and you don't have to have a saw to do that. If you just start cutting around that knee joint, cut the skin back so you can see what you're doing. There's some tendons and cartilage in there. If you just keep whacking on those, eventually it'll pop right loose. And then the result, of course, you got everything laid down on a tarp nice and clean. The ham in the center there on the lower part of the center, I've taken that lower leg off. Now, I don't know if you guys watch the Meat Eater, Steve Ranella, he likes to make ossobuco, which is shank stew. And what he does is he takes that section between the dew claw and the knee, and he takes a saw and cuts it up into donut-shaped sections. And there's meat on the outside of that, not a lot, and it takes a lot of them, but he makes a big stew called ossobuco, and it's really good. So if you're so inclined, you could keep that, but again, if you're 3 miles from the car, it might not be worth the trouble to haul all that. You want to put everything in game bags. The ones I use are made by a company called Caribou, and they're lightweight nylon, and they're washable. I've used them many, many, many times. But you could go to a Kmart or Walmart and get a nylon laundry bag, and it would do the same thing. Nylon's best because it dries quickly. So now there are some companies that make big, heavy canvas game bags, but they're really more suited to carrying elk quarters on pack mules and pack horses because they're heavy. So again, I like the nylon. And then don't forget the ivories. Even cow elk have ivories. It's a vestigial tusk. It's a little round tooth. It's very obvious when you open up their mouth what it is. Just pop that out. It's easy to get out. You can take a knife and kind of cut around it, or a screwdriver, and it'll pop right out. And there are companies that make jewelry out of ivories. That's a ring I had made out of a elk ivory from a bull I shot. So again, using a pack frame to haul, this is a white-tailed deer, and I just didn't feel like dragging it the half-mile back to the truck, so it doesn't take, with a white-tailed deer, it doesn't take 15 minutes to quarter one. So, and that's a doe there. But you can carry a white-tailed deer out, in no time on a pack frame. Elk, not so much, not so easy, but it's a whole lot easier to get them out on a pack frame than it is a lot of the other ways. Pack loads, and one ham is going to weigh 60 to 70 pounds, and on a big bull it could weigh even more than that. So you've got one load, depending on how much you can carry. I'm not a big, tough guy, so that's about all I can carry is about 70 pounds. So you've got one load with one ham, got another load with another ham. You've got a shoulder and a back strap that's going to put you at about the same weight as the ham. Got another shoulder and a back strap. Then you got the rib meat, the neck, the heart, and the liver is about 50 pounds. Then if you've got a bull you want to have the head mounted, you've got a chore ahead of you, because that head's could weigh up to 100 pounds depending on the size of the antlers. So that's a pretty good chore. Now, if you have time and the weather's not hot, you can go ahead and cape that head and cut the skull cap off. But you really need to know what you're doing. And I've done a bunch of them, and I'm not that good at it. Donald, as he's sitting over there, he'll tell you I'm not very good at it. But he always cusses at me. He's a taxidermist. He always cusses at me when I bring him a cape that I haven't done a great job on. But it's better to let a taxidermist do that. But you got to haul that daggone thing out. It's heavy. And then, you can cut that weight in half if you've just got the skull cap, the antlers, and the cape. So just to show you, that's two guys. They were high school football players who killed a young bull with me last year. You can see how big that ham is. Okay, now that's a small bull. That was not a big bull. So, it's a chore. There's another one of those same guys. He decided he'd just carry one over his shoulder, and that's a shoulder, not a ham. And it was a little easier to carry, but it still was pretty heavy. This fella's carrying probably about 50 pounds of meat and the head of a spiked bull. Now, I don't know why I think he was going to get a European mount, I'm not sure, but he had quite a load. In fact, we were going down off the side of a mountain, and he tripped and fell into a briar patch, and he couldn't get up. He had so much weight on his back. We had to help him up. That's me carrying a deer ham, and you can see how you can, as a doe, you can see how you can use the legs as a handle to carry a deer ham. Just put it over your shoulder. You don't have to use pack frame. But here's a guy that killed a pretty good bull. It was a 300-inch bull, and that was an interesting story. My buddy Donald, I think they did this on purpose. They shot this bull, and it went over a cliff. And he came up back to camp and said, "We need a little help." I said, "How far did it go?" He said, "About 150 yards. And I'm going, "We'll knock that out in an hour." Well, it was down off the side of a mountain, and we had to rig up ropes to get that thing up. But anyway, that's the hunter, and he's got that head on his back, and it's about 100 pounds. And I don't know how he got it up that hill, but he did. Those heads are heavy. Again, hauling heads are pretty heavy. That's me with another fellow. We had to haul that one about 2.5 miles, and that about killed me, that head. That was a 5x6 bull, and it wasn't a monster, but it was a decent bull. But that head just about killed me. I didn't think I was going to make it out of there with that thing on my back. And again, hauling heads. The rewards you get from doing this are immeasurable, but one of those, of course, is the meat. That's the tenderloin on an elk with, marinated and grilled. That's rib meat all turned into hamburger and made into tacos. And then, of course, that's a bull that one of my hunters mounted on the wall. So again, you want to pre-plan for ice, pre-plan for where you're going to take your meat. For instance, there's a really good meat processor in Manchester. What H&S or M&H or something like that. H&M meat processors. It's a an Amish family owns it. They're not open on Saturday afternoons or Sundays. So if you're planning on going there, you've got to, figure out what you're going to do with that meat if you kill it on Saturday evening or kill your bull or your cow or whatever it is on a Sunday morning. So pre-plan for those kinds of things. If you're driving in from northern Kentucky or western Kentucky, talk to taxidermists, talk to meat processors along the way so that you can figure out what you're going to do. Again, another plug for the Kentucky Elk Guide Association. Hiring a KEGA member will ensure that you get an honest, ethical, safe, and hard-working guide. KEGA has standards regarding how we behave when we're guiding hunters. And then lastly, I won't talk long about this, I'm just going to touch on it. This year I'm going to be offering some DIY packages if anybody is drawn and they don't want to hire a guide or they don't have the resources for a greatly reduced price. I'm offering a scouting report that will, in 2 units, 3 and 5, that will enable you to go into that unit, do your own scouting using the maps that I provide, and hopefully you get on a bull or a cow. And again, I'm an outdoor writer. I've got some books for sale in the lobby, and you can get them on my website, Kentucky Wild Outdoors. Any questions? Step right up if you have any questions. Anybody? Well, I want to thank the Mountain Arts Center, Kentucky Fish and Wildlife in Kentucky. Let's give them all a big hand. Thank you. And I'll turn it back over to the mayor, if he's here. There he is. Thank you.
When you're working traffic here in Prestonsburg, dealing with death and injuries is an unfortunate part of the job.
If writing a ticket can prevent tragedies like the ones I've seen, I will do it.
Why? Because it saves lives.
Spring has sprung at Appalachian Wireless, and a new deal on the biggest little iPhone has just arrived. The iPhone 12 mini 64 gig comes with massive features and is the perfect pocket size. Best of all, Appalachian Wireless is offering the iPhone 12 mini for just $99.99 with a 2-year contract. Good things do come in small packages, and the iPhone mini on the region's best network is just that. But don't wait, this deal won't last long. Visit a retail location or go to AppalachianWireless.com to get this amazing deal. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
This changes everything. Gearhart TV is available now. It's the digital TV service delivered to your smart TV or connected devices by Gearhart Broadband. Sign up now at mygtv.com.
When you're working traffic across Pike County, responding to crashes involving injuries or deaths is a tough part of our job.
Less than 2 seconds. That's all the time it takes to buckle up.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws? It's not about writing tickets. It's about saving lives.
Smart devices make our lives better, but they're also susceptible to hackers. That's why Plume helps identify when a device is acting strange.
You mean like talking to itself for no reason?
I'm talking to the audience.
Remember when everything under the sun was new? When a walk was an adventure to a magical place? A boat ride was a chance to play pirate? Freedom was riding your bike and making new friends. Every dinner was followed by dessert, and the stars never shine so bright.
They say this is making memories.
You can work at home, play in Prestonsburg.
When you're working traffic in Kentucky, responding to crashes involving injury or death is a tough part of our job.
Less than 2 seconds. That's all the time it takes to buckle up. Why do we enforce seatbelt laws? It's not about writing tickets. It's about saving lives.
So you're a country music fan, and your favorite star is from the Country Music Highway. Is it Loretta Lynn? Dwight Yoakam, Chris Stapleton, or the new rising star Tyler Childers? How do you keep up with all the information going on in their hometown? Go to cmh23.com for concerts, history, festivals. cmh23.com. Say hello to the Country Music Highway.
We're getting ready to go into our Cal Firearm Week 1 in just a minute, but I get the pleasure of introducing the president of the Big Sandy Community. And it goes more than just being someone in the area who gets involved with us. We have a partnership with them. The building here is an accredited building. We're working on programs that is going to allow students to come over here and get training in audio, video, production, direction, even so much as rolling up cables, because they need them to be such a certain size if they're a roadie or if they're working in this field. And they're going to get instruction in that. They're going to be able to get college credit or work certifications, and it's awesome that we could bring people here and keep them here. Eventually we'll be going forward with video jockeys or VJs and DJs, so we can keep local talent in this area. But I know y'all want to go on to the Cal Firearm, so I'm going to introduce Dr. Sherry Zilka, who is a good friend of mine and the president of the Big Sandy Community Technical College.
Thank you, Les. See if I can put this here without spilling it. Okay, this is exciting for me to be able to do this, and so we're going to start out with the Cal Week 1, and I don't know if this advances. So Cal Firearm Week 1, Upton, Kentucky. Cal Firearms Week 1, Anthony Alvarez, Richmond, Kentucky. And if anybody's in the audience whose name I call, please start cheering, because it's always exciting to have somebody here at the MAC that has been called or has been selected for this. Stephen Bailey, Lakeside Park, Kentucky. Jasmine Bailey, Salyersville, Kentucky. Greg Bayer, Verona, Kentucky. Alexandria Bell, Lexington, Kentucky. Mark Bishop, West Point, Kentucky. Jeff Borst, Seymour, Wisconsin. Robert Boggs, Isom, Kentucky. Troy Bright, Midway, Kentucky. Larry Broughton, Ashland, Kentucky. Ray Brown, Virgie, Kentucky. Chad Brown, Clifty, Kentucky. Adam Brumfield, Nicholasville, Kentucky. Noel Caldwell, Lexington, Kentucky. Joseph Cardosi, Crestview Hills, Kentucky. Sue Cardwell, Central City, Kentucky. Anthony Carson, Irvington, Kentucky. Braden Cottle, London, Kentucky. Timothy Childers, Glasgow, Kentucky. Jonathan Compton, Pikeville, Kentucky. Michael Conger, Marion, Kentucky. Mackenzie Cook, Nancy, Kentucky. Hunter Cromer, London, Kentucky. Chris Curtis, Utica, Kentucky. Paul Curtis, Owensboro, Kentucky. Douglas Darby, Covington, Kentucky. Ronald Deaton, Morningview, Kentucky. Bill Dixon, Paris, Kentucky. Robert Dodson, Paw Paw, Kentucky. Michael Doyle, Fairdale, Kentucky. Megan Evans, Vine Grove, Kentucky. Anna Fawn, Hardin, Kentucky. Rebecca Fields, Beauty, Kentucky. Lauren Fields, Pickerington, Ohio. Hunter Fraley, Livermore, Kentucky. Greg Friend, Grethel, Kentucky. Harold Fusen, Ingram, Kentucky. Steve Goebel, West Van Leer, Kentucky. Jeffrey Graham, Dixon, Kentucky. Bobby Hamilton, Pikeville, Kentucky. Drew Hamilton, Union, Kentucky. Nolan Case Harris, Calvert City, Kentucky. Jacob Hartledge, Lexington, Kentucky. Tamara Hensley, West Liberty, Kentucky. William Hirschner, Prospect, Kentucky. Kayla Hickson, Murray, Kentucky. Clinton Horton, Winchester, Kentucky. Garrett Ifland, Tallahassee, Florida. David Jackson, Tyner, Kentucky. A.C. Jackson Jr., Manchester, Kentucky. Gary Jennings, Locust Grove, Virginia. Nicholas Johnson, Allensville, Kentucky. Dakota Jones, Williamstown, Kentucky. David Kamer, Crestwood, Kentucky. Chadwick Knight, Hazard, Kentucky. Gary Ladow, Willisburg, Kentucky. Isaac Lambert, Pineville, Kentucky. Jonathan Lambert, Horse Branch, Kentucky. Matt Lefevre, Morrisonville, New York. Mark Lilly, Corinth, Kentucky. Dennis Lindsay, Louisville, Kentucky. Virginia Linville, Maysville, Kentucky. James Littoral, Grayson, Kentucky. Brett Long, Nicholasville, Kentucky. Daniel Loveland, Winchester, Kentucky. Michael Martin, Winchester, Kentucky. Martha Mason, Baghdad, Kentucky. Jacob Mast, Mayslick, Kentucky. Jason Mayfield, Mount Washington, Kentucky. William McCall, South Shore, Kentucky. Stephanie McChesney, Clay, Kentucky. Wesley McCoy, Rineyville, Kentucky. Samantha McQueen, Jackson, Kentucky. David Miles, Cox Creek, Kentucky. Raymond Miller, Cub Run, Kentucky. Scott Miller, Florence, Kentucky. Megan Mills, Sanders, Kentucky. Justin Mingus, Hamilton, Ohio. Michael Minton, Shepherdsville, Kentucky. Jared Montgomery, Richmond, Kentucky. John Montgomery, Nicholasville, Kentucky. Tommy Morton, Nicholasville, Kentucky. Levi Myers, Walcott, West Virginia. Larry McNabb, Santa Ana, California. Jason Norbury, Louisville, Kentucky. Cameron Owens, Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Anthony Parrish, Winchester, Kentucky. Stephen Potters, Branford, Florida. Colton Price, Alexandria, Kentucky. Paul Quinn, Louisville, Kentucky. Jacob Reichert, Louisville, Kentucky. Chad Riley, Olive Hill, Kentucky. Cody Risner, Azell, Kentucky. Malin Robinson, Bowling Green, Kentucky. Ronald Hamilton, Staffordsville, Kentucky. Greg Russell, Dawson Springs, Kentucky. Daryl Sexton, Prestonsburg, Kentucky. James Shield, Moorhead, Kentucky. Corbett Shull, Louisville, Kentucky. Ashlyn Slaughter, Crittenden, Kentucky. James Sloan, Monticello, Kentucky. Dustin Smith, Scottsville, Kentucky. Gregory Sparks, Grethel, Kentucky. Robert Stewart, Milton, Kentucky. Michael Stokes, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Danny Sumner, Manchester, Kentucky. Clinton Tabor, Owensville, Kentucky. Stephen Terry, Indianapolis, Indiana. Christopher Taylor, Utica, Kentucky. Derek Thornsberry, Kite, Kentucky. Daniel Throckmorton, Georgetown, Kentucky. Brett Tinch, Lexington, Kentucky. William Toole, Eminence, Kentucky. Whitney Trapp, LaGrange, Kentucky. Craig Tritzstiller, Morningview, Kentucky. Woohoo! Stand up so we can see who you are. Yay! All right. Congratulations. Owen Walker, Lebanon Junction, Kentucky. And remember, this is week 1. Madison Warfield, Ghent, Kentucky. Tom Waters, Louisville, Kentucky. Oliver Welsh, Irving, Kentucky. Jeremy Whitehead, California, Kentucky. John Wilburn, Cottontown, Tennessee. And that concludes week 1, people that were selected to participate in this. So stay tuned. We are going to go on to week 2 shortly after this break. Thank you.
When you're working traffic here in Prestonsburg, dealing with death and injuries is an unfortunate part of the job.
If writing a ticket can prevent tragedies like the ones I've seen, I will do it.
Why? Because it saves lives.
When you're working traffic across Pike County, responding to crashes involving injuries or deaths is a tough part of our job.
Less than 2 seconds. That's all the time it takes to buckle up.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws? It's not about writing tickets. It's about saving lives.
So you're a country music fan, and your favorite star is from the Country Music Highway. Is it Loretta Lynn, Dwight Yoakam, Chris Stapleton, or the new rising star Tyler Childers? How do you keep up with all the information going on in their hometown? Go to CMH23.com for concerts, history, festivals. CMH23.com. Say hello to the Country Music Highway.
Remember when everything under the sun was new? When a walk was an adventure to a magical place. A boat ride was a chance to play pirate. Freedom was riding your bike and making new friends. Every dinner was followed by dessert, and the stars never shine so bright.
They say this is making memories.
You can work at home, play in Prestonsburg.
When you're working traffic in Kentucky, responding to crashes involving injury or death is a tough part of our job.
Less than 2 seconds. That's all the time it takes to buckle up. Why do we enforce seatbelt laws? It's not about writing tickets. It's about saving lives.
Smart devices make our lives better, but they're also susceptible to hackers. That's why Plume helps identify when a device is acting strange.
You mean like talking to itself for no reason?
I'm talking to the audience.
Spring has sprung at Appalachian Wireless, and a new deal on the biggest little iPhone has just arrived. The iPhone 12 mini 64 gig comes with massive features and is the perfect pocket size. Best of all, Appalachian Wireless is offering the iPhone 12 mini for just $99.99 with a 2-year contract. Good things do come in small packages, and the iPhone mini on the region's best network is just that. But don't wait, this deal won't last long. Visit a retail location or go to AppalachianWireless.com to get this amazing deal. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
changes everything. Gearhart TV is available now. It's the digital TV service delivered to your smart TV or connected devices by Gearhart Broadband. Sign up now at mygtv.com.
Okay, now we're ready for week 2 of the Cow Firearm. Eli Aiken, Louisville, Kentucky. Daniel Arnett, Benton, Kentucky. Brandon Arnold, Pippa Passes, Kentucky. Stephen Bailey, Westport, Kentucky. Norman Bailey, Hueysville, Kentucky. Andrea Bailey, Westport, Kentucky. Sadie Bailey, Gunlock, Kentucky. Jesse Beavers, Hodgenville, Kentucky. Colton Benton, Somerset, Kentucky. Ricky Hardensburg, Kentucky. Indiana. David Biroshik, Lexington, Kentucky. Chandler Brandstetter, Canmer, Kentucky. Joseph Buchanan, Owensboro, Kentucky. Melvin Burton, Milton, Kentucky. Billy Bird, Morgantown, Kentucky. Chris Cessna, Louisville, Kentucky. Nicholas Christie, St. Clair Shores, Michigan. Zachary Clymer, DeMossville, Kentucky. Johnny Cobb, Falmouth, Kentucky. Mark Coleman, Elkhorn City, Kentucky. James Collette, London, Kentucky. Stephen Comist, Crestwood, Kentucky. Adam Coombs, Waco, Kentucky. Matthew Cooper, Stanford, Kentucky. Chester Couch Jr., Somerset, Kentucky. Joseph Council, Florence, Kentucky. James Crick, Nortonville, Kentucky. Thomas Crowell, Georgetown, Kentucky. Richard Doherty, Nebo, Kentucky. Grant Deller, Red Lion, Pennsylvania. Josh Dossett, Sturgis, Kentucky. Caitlin Eicher, New Richmond, Ohio. Mitchell Estes III, Franklin, Kentucky. Michael Irely, Gainesville, Georgia. Grant Deller, Red Lion, Pennsylvania. Josh Dossett, Sturgis, Kentucky. Caitlin Eicher, New Richmond, Ohio. Mitchell Estes III, Franklin, Kentucky. Michael Irely, Gainesville, Georgia. Andrew Filer, Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Peter Flanagan, Crestwood, Kentucky. Robert Gadberry, Lebanon, Kentucky. Brady Gay, Berea, Kentucky. Jason Gindel, Florence, Kentucky. Francis Guti, Lebanon, Kentucky. Roy Gray, Lancaster, Kentucky. Justin Green, Clay, Kentucky. Nathaniel Granols, Dawson Springs, Kentucky. Mark Gumnick, Paducah, Kentucky. John Hammock, Mount Sterling, Kentucky. Richard Hefner, Campbellsburg, Kentucky. Lucas Hennel, Lexington, Kentucky. Mandy Hooker, Vero Beach, Florida. Mike Hoskins, Stanville, Kentucky. Robert Hume, Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Jameson Hutchison, Lexington, Kentucky. Avery Jenks, Louisa, Kentucky. Justin Johnson, Lexington, Kentucky. Austin Keeling, Kingston, Tennessee. James Keller, London, Kentucky. Jonathan Krish, Shepherdsville, Kentucky. Joseph Kuzman, Nicholasville, Kentucky. Mark Loggle, Dayton, Ohio. Adam Lawhorn, Catlettsburg, Kentucky. Zan Lee, Olmsted, Kentucky. David Leahy, Louisville, Kentucky. Nancy Logan, Mayslick, Kentucky. Timothy Long, Bristol, Virginia. Louis Lucas, Hamilton, Ohio. Stephen Marshall, Lexington, Kentucky. Weston Mason, West Paducah, Kentucky. Travis McIntosh, Richmond, Kentucky. Cody McManus, Louisville, Kentucky. Dwayne Meadows, Clay City, Kentucky. Owen Michaels, Wallens, Kentucky. Matthew Mitchell, Louisville, Kentucky. Clark Moore, Madison, Mississippi. Kyle Muir, Caditz, Kentucky. Joshua Mullins, London, Kentucky. Jeffrey Mullins, Berea, Kentucky. Casey Murphy, Benton, Kentucky. Michael Murphy, Georgetown, Kentucky. David Murray, Corbin, Kentucky. Kelly Neal, Stanton, Kentucky. Courtney Nelson, Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Tyrus Oath, Gilbertsville, Kentucky. Matthew Parker, Louisville, Kentucky. Robbie Parrott, Paducah, Kentucky. Bentley Patrick, West Liberty, Kentucky. Philip Keaton, Keaton, Kentucky. Johnny Polston Jr., Russell Springs, Kentucky. Gary Rachel, Vico, Kentucky. Ellery Reed, Turkey Creek, Kentucky. Cheryl Roden, Augusta, Kentucky. Sarah Ridner, Parkers Lake, Kentucky. Percy Riffle, Munfordville, Kentucky. Robert Rourke, Keavy, Kentucky. Terry Robertson, Paducah, Kentucky. Benjamin Roberts Jr., Philpott, Kentucky. Chris Robinson, Nicholasville, Kentucky. Oliver Rose, West Liberty, Kentucky. Raymond Rose, West Liberty, Kentucky. Jared Roy, Jamestown, Kentucky. Bobby Shadler, Dry Ridge, Kentucky. Timothy Skaggs, Greensburg, Kentucky. Amber Smith, Bevansville, Kentucky. James Soder, LaGrange, Kentucky. Michael Sorrell, Ashland, Kentucky. Andrew Sprinkle, Lexington, Kentucky. Alvin Staggs, Augusta, Kentucky. Travis Stevens, Richmond, Kentucky. Charles Thompson, Feds Creek, Kentucky. Mark Thompson, Elizabethtown, Kentucky. Chris Tinsley, Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Jason Tubb, Caneyville, Kentucky. Natasha Turpin, Liberty, Kentucky. Jonathan Tuttle, Winchester, Kentucky. William Wonderhide, Catletsburg, Kentucky. Brent Wascom, Seymour, Indiana. Joshua Watson, Hardinsburg, Kentucky. Richard West, Bradenburg, Kentucky. Joseph White, Raceland, Kentucky. Thomas Wilmus, Alvaton, Kentucky. Jamie Wilson, Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Taylor Wilson, Pineville, Kentucky. Charles Woolley, Paducah, Kentucky. Ella Zernheld, Mount Eden, Kentucky. And that concludes week 2 of Cal Firearms. Thank you.
So you're a country music fan, and your favorite star is from the Country Music Highway. Is it Loretta Lynn, Dwight Yoakam, Chris Stapleton, or the new rising star Tyler Childers? How do you keep up with all the information going on in their hometown? Go to CMH23.com for concerts, history, festivals. CMH23.com. Say hello to the Country Music Highway.
When you're working traffic in Kentucky, responding to crashes involving injury or death is a tough part of our job.
Less than 2 seconds. That's all the time it takes to buckle up. Why do we enforce seatbelt laws? It's not about writing tickets. It's about saving lives.
Smart devices make our lives better, but they're also susceptible to hackers. That's why Plume helps identify when a device is acting strange.
You mean like talking to itself for no reason?
I'm talking to the audience.
You broke my heart. I put the keys in the ignition, but the engine don't start. Centralia, you spit my name. I take a good look in the mirror and I see the only one to blame. Way down in southern
your small business right. Fiber connects you to the cloud with speeds up to 1 gig, with digital voice, the right video solutions, and local support. Make the right call. Gearhart Broadband.
When you're working traffic across Pike County, responding to crashes involving injuries or deaths is a tough part of our job.
Less than 2 seconds. That's all the time it takes to buckle up.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws? It's not about writing tickets. It's about saving lives.
The winter is coming on, darling. I don't think I'll be seeing you again. Don't ask me where I'm going. No matter where I say it is, it won't be the same, my friend. But I'll be home again. Wherever home happens to be. Whether it's in the arms of a stranger or an old friend hanging from a tree. I can feel you changing like the weather. I can't say you won't mind to see. Stronger than the arms of a stranger, or carrying a casket as it creaks against the leather. But I'll be home again, wherever home happens to be. Whether it's in the arms of a stranger or me. I can feel you changing like the weather. I can't say you won't mind to see. Stronger than the arms of a stranger, or carrying a casket as it creaks against the leather. But I'll be home again, wherever home happens to be. Whether it's in the arms of a stranger or me.
When you're working traffic here in Prestonsburg, dealing with death and injuries is an unfortunate part of the job.
If writing a ticket can prevent tragedies like the ones I've seen, I will do it.
Why? Because it saves lives.
So you're a country music fan, and your favorite star is from the Country Music Highway. Is it Loretta Lynn, Dwight Yoakam, Chris Stapleton, or the new rising star Tyler Childers? How do you keep up with all the information going on in their hometown? Go to CMH23.com for concerts, history, festivals. CMH23.com. Say hello to the Country Music Highway.
Smart devices make our lives better, but they're also susceptible to hackers. That's why Plume helps identify when a device is acting strange.
You mean like talking to itself for no reason?
I'm talking to the audience.
Somebody said you were seeing someone new. Said they saw you holding hands with a brand new man, but it's hard to believe it's true. But if it is, and if you did, I don't know what I'll do. Somebody said that you were seeing someone new. Don't lie to me. Give it to me straight. Was that just a creepy cousin? Or were you on a date? 'Cause I think I know. I don't want to admit. 'Cause it'll just break my heart. And it might just up and quit. Well, somebody said you seen someone new. Said they saw you holding hands with a brand new man, but it's hard to believe it's true. But if it is, and if you did, I don't know what I'll do. Somebody said you were seeing someone new. It's hard to understand. Girl, I think you know. 'Cause you were singing a different tune in my backseat 3 weeks ago. Let's lay it all on the table. Tell me what has changed. How'd we go from going to second base to going our separate ways? Rumors fly all the time in small towns. So ease your chains and clear it up for me. Well, somebody said you were seeing someone new. Said they saw you holding hands with a brand new man, but it's hard to believe it's true. But if it is, and if you did, don't know what I'll do. Somebody said you were seeing someone new.
When you're working traffic in Kentucky, responding to crashes involving injury or death is a tough part of our job.
Less than 2 seconds. That's all the time it takes to buckle up. Why do we enforce seatbelt laws? It's not about writing tickets. It's about saving lives.
has sprung at Appalachian Wireless, and a new deal on the biggest little iPhone has just arrived. The iPhone 12 mini 64 gig comes with massive features and is the perfect pocket size. Best of all, Appalachian Wireless is offering the iPhone 12 mini for just $99.99 with a 2-year contract. Good things do come in small packages, and the iPhone mini on the region's best network is just that. But don't wait, this deal won't last long. Visit a retail location or go to AppalachianWireless.com to get this amazing deal. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
When you're working traffic here in Prestonsburg, dealing with death and injuries is an unfortunate part of the job.
If writing a ticket can prevent tragedies like the ones I've seen, I will do it.
Why? Because it saves lives.
So you're a country music fan, and your favorite star is from the Country Music Highway. Is it Loretta Lynn, Dwight Yoakam, Chris Stapleton, or the new rising star Tyler Childers? How do you keep up with all the information going on in their hometown? Go to CMH23.com for concerts, history, festivals. CMH23.com. Say hello to the Country Music Highway.
Remember when everything under the sun was new? When a walk was an adventure to a magical place? A boat ride was a chance to play pirate? Freedom was riding your bike and making new friends. Every dinner was followed by dessert, and the stars never shine so bright.
They say this is making memories.
You can work at home, play in Prestonsburg.
Smart devices make our lives better, but they're also susceptible to hackers. That's why Plume helps identify when a device is acting strange.
You mean like talking to itself for no reason?
I'm talking to the audience.
Gearhart Broadband gets solutions for your small business right. Fiber connects you to the cloud with speeds up to 1 gig, with digital voice, the right video solutions, and local support. Make the right call. Gearhart Broadband.
When you're working traffic across Pike County, responding to crashes involving injuries or deaths is a tough part of our job.
Less than 2 seconds. That's all the time it takes to buckle up.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws? It's not about writing tickets. It's about saving lives.
And welcome back. We've got 2 more categories. I want to remind everybody that is watching, you can also get the results to the elk draw on the Kentucky Fish and Wildlife website by the 20th, I believe. Is that correct? Those results will be back up there after this by the 20th. I want to introduce our next name caller. She is the Executive Director of the Prestonsburg Tourism here in Prestonsburg, Miss Samantha Johnson.
Into the section of archery and crossbow. First, Sunny Atkins, Williamstown, Kentucky. Charles Allen, Greenup, Kentucky. Christina Allender, Newport, Kentucky. Quentin Anderson, Gent, Kentucky. Donald Appleman, Augusta, Kentucky. Braxton Asher, Big Creek, Kentucky. Christopher Bayer, Louisville, Kentucky. Mickey Baker, Salem, Kentucky. Thomas Ballard, Mayfield, Kentucky. Justin Barrier, Lexington, Kentucky. Stephen Barton, Gray, Kentucky. Gary Barton, Williamsburg, Kentucky. Sydney Bearden, Pell City, Alabama. Chad Blackwelder, Mocksville, North Carolina. Douglas Boyd, Pikeville, Kentucky. Michael Boyd, Lebanon, Tennessee. Leah Bredemeyer, Auburn, Indiana. Duran Brown, Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Chase Buchanan, Mayfield, Kentucky. James Burdine, Flat Lick, Kentucky. William Bird, Waddy, Kentucky. Stephen Calvert, Lancaster, Kentucky. Andrew Castanago, Sedalton, Alaska. Stephen Chafin, Stone, Kentucky. Purville Cheney, Owenton, Kentucky. Charles Klein, Jr., Rhineyville, Kentucky. Matthew Cogsdale, Sanford, Florida. Randy Cogner, Eddyville, Kentucky. Richard Cooper, Hodgkinsville, Kentucky. Michael Cooper, Mount Washington, Kentucky. Elmer Cooper, Zoe, Kentucky. James Hunter Cornett, Lexington, Kentucky. Pat Cox, Greenville, Kentucky. Joshua Cummins, Owenton, Kentucky. Don Daly, Clarksville, Tennessee. Keith Davenport, Georgetown, Kentucky. Daryl Davidson, Manchester, Kentucky. Garrett Davidson, Benton, Kentucky. Fieldon Davis, Smiths Grove, Kentucky. Vance Davis, Dunville, Kentucky. Gregory Dawson, Elizabethtown, Kentucky. Kevin Deming, Calvert City, Kentucky. Philip Dowdy, Mayfield, Kentucky. John Dudley, Owensboro, Kentucky. Dillian England, Tompkinville, Kentucky. Robert Englert, Paducah, Kentucky. Christopher Ethington, Taylorsville, Kentucky. Rodman Ewing Jr., Radcliffe, Kentucky. Ross Foreman, Tellsboro, Kentucky. Do we have one here? Congratulations. That's wonderful news. Congratulations. Ross Foreman, Tollesboro, Kentucky. Thomas Forrest Jr., Denniston, Kentucky. Benjamin Fuller, Lexington, Kentucky. Rodney Garrett, Sanders, Kentucky. Josiah Garvey, Benton, Kentucky. William Geary, Graham, Kentucky. John Gelhaus, Louisville, Kentucky. Brett Gibson, LaGrange, Kentucky. Patrick Goodlett, Richmond, Kentucky. Lewis Graham, White Mills, Kentucky. Jonathan Gray, Mayfield, Kentucky. James Grega, Fort Edward, New York. Glenn Griffey, Hazard, Kentucky. Joseph Guthrie, Wilmore, Kentucky. Jimmy Guy, Richmond, Kentucky. Austin Hall, Dry Ridge, Kentucky. Tyler Hamilton, Teaberry, Kentucky. Stephen Harp, LaGrange, Kentucky. Aaron Harris, Baghdad, Kentucky. Robert Harrison, Butler, Kentucky. Luke Hartman, Burlington, Kentucky. William Harvey, Inez, Kentucky. Stephen Harvey, Mount Washington, Kentucky. Justin Hash, Buffalo, Kentucky. Dr. Barry Heineke, Alexandria, Kentucky. Kyle Hinderman, Louisville, Kentucky. Christopher Hendrickson, Mount Vernon, Kentucky. Branson Henson, Russell Springs, Kentucky. Joshua Hess, Glendale, Kentucky. Jacob Hudson, Auburn, Kentucky. Sean Irwin, Nicholasville, Kentucky. Jared Jogerst, Imperial, Missouri. Jeremy Johnson, Hickory, Kentucky. Stacy Jupin, Ekron, Kentucky. Travis Keeling, Shelbyville, Kentucky. Jeffrey Kirsch, Adamsville, Alabama. Derek Kidd, Banner, Kentucky. Grant Klingsick, Lexington, Kentucky. John Krebs, Louisville, Kentucky. And at this time, to finish up in this category of archery and crossbow, I'm going to bring out President of Big Sandy Community and Technical College. Come on out, Dr. Zilka.
Thank you, Samantha. Okay. Let's give Samantha a hand. She's great with Prestonsburg tourism. Okay, the next one is Greg Leengang, Princeton, Kentucky. Jeffrey Lena, Taylorsville, Kentucky. Janelle Lilly, Corinth, Kentucky. Jason Logston, Canmore, Kentucky. Daniel Lorenzen, Fort Thomas, Kentucky. Arnold Lowe Jr., Isom, Kentucky. Richard Lucas, Whitesburg, Kentucky. Carlisle Lusk, Fulton, Kentucky. Brianna Matney, Greensburg, Kentucky. Robert McLeese, Moorhead, Kentucky. Michelle McPherson, Russellville, Kentucky. Edward McVicker, Henderson, Kentucky. Jordan Merriman, Laycenter, Kentucky. Zachary Messer, Moorhead, Kentucky. Aaron Mills, Tomahawk, Kentucky. John Moeller, Tyner, Kentucky. Marion Montooth, Frankfort, Kentucky. Donald Moore, Corinth, Kentucky, or Corneth, Kentucky. Terrence Morgan, Orlando, Kentucky. Kenneth Morphew, Beaver Dam, Kentucky. Patrick Morris, Louisville, Kentucky. Lynette Mudd, Caneyville, Kentucky. Billy Nelson, Buffalo, Kentucky. Richard Newcomb, North Chesterfield, Virginia. James Newman, Lancaster, Kentucky. Jan Nicholson, Manchester, Kentucky. William Corey Oliver, Paducah, Kentucky. Ronald Osborne II, Campbellsville, Kentucky. Patrick Osteen, Louisville, Kentucky. David Owens, Crab Orchard, Kentucky. Parker Page, Louisville, Kentucky. Jacob Pegger, Brownsville, Kentucky. Jeremy Perkins, Corinth, Kentucky. Sorry about that. Patrick Perry, Waddy, Kentucky. Michael Petrie, Florence, Kentucky. Wesley Payton, Frankfort, Kentucky. Frederick Pfister, Lexington, Kentucky. Ashley Plymale, Caditz, Kentucky. Gary Pollard, Frankfort, Kentucky. Michael Prophet, Stearns, Kentucky. James Rack II, California, Kentucky. Charles Raleigh, Shavies, Kentucky. Jacob Ramey, Elkhorn City, Kentucky. Logan Reber, Holmes Beach, Florida. James E. Rice, Catlettsburg, Kentucky. Jenny Richardson, Williamsburg, Kentucky. Mark Rinzinger, Hartford, Kentucky. Wayne Roberts Jr., Henderson, Kentucky. Robert Rogers, Louisville, Kentucky. Ben Rutledge, Indianapolis, Indiana. Patrick Salmons, Louisa, Kentucky. Frank Shope Sr., Harlan, Kentucky. Dominique Schwerls, Ludlow, Kentucky. Stephen Sipes, Louisville, Kentucky. Devin Slifer, Greenup, Kentucky. Mark Smith, Sadieville, Kentucky. Keith Smith, Lumberton, Mississippi. Braden Sparks, Isonville, Kentucky. Donald Stabley, Fancy Farm, Kentucky. Harvey Stucker, Campbellsburg, Kentucky. Gerard Talby, Winchester, Kentucky. Gregory T. Taylor, Versailles, Kentucky. Jesse Terrell, East Point, Kentucky. Ryan Thompson, Campbellsville, Kentucky. Aaron Thompson, Stanwood, Michigan. Derek Tibbetts, Elk River, Minnesota. John Trinkle, Morningview, Kentucky. Russell Upchurch, Corbin, Kentucky. Michael Van Winkle, Irvine, Kentucky. Tyler Vaughn, Russellville, Kentucky. John Vincent, Brownsville, Kentucky. Timothy S. Vincent, Hartford, Kentucky. Philip Waddle, Richmond, Kentucky. Doug Wadley, Maysville, Kentucky. Michael Watkins, Auburn, Kentucky. Sarita Watson, Elizabethtown, Kentucky. Donovan Waugh, Rush, Kentucky. Steve Webb, Glasgow, Kentucky. Terry Whitehouse, Stamping Ground, Kentucky. Jeremiah Wilbers, California, Kentucky. Mark Winchell, Vestal, New York. Jeremy Yoder, Crestwood, Kentucky. And that concludes the either sex archery / crossbow permits. Thank you very much. And there's one more category we have to do, and that's the youth. So I'm going to go ahead and start that right now. Either sex youth is Carolyn Adkins from Paducah, Kentucky. Ryan Beam from Stanford, Kentucky. Tucker Brantley from Smiths Grove, Kentucky. Tyson Browning from Paint Lick, Kentucky. Gavin DeLong from Lexington, Kentucky. Dennis Fieglin from Brooksville, Kentucky. Gabriel Griffey from Hazard, Kentucky. Jonah Griffey from Banner, Kentucky. Hayden Hendrick from Lilly, Kentucky. Parker Keenan from Clarksville, Tennessee. Tyler Kuntz from Signal Mountain, Tennessee. Sarah Larkins from White Plain, Kentucky. Colby McIntosh from Beattyville, Kentucky. Ellie Miller from Scottsville, Kentucky. Caleb Neitzel from Cave City, Kentucky. Elijah Nelson from Scottsville, Kentucky. Elijah Pelton from Whitensville, Kentucky. Lydia Pope from Paris, Kentucky. Rayleigh Purvis from Owingsville, Kentucky. Brandon Saylor from Kelvin, Kentucky. Lincoln Chabelle from Alexandria, Kentucky. Victoria Stidham from Hazard, Kentucky. Logan Walker from Smithland, Kentucky. Macy Wright from Sandy Hook, Kentucky. Kenneth Wright from Elizabethtown, Kentucky. And that concludes either sex youth. Thank you very much for attending, but I need to turn it over to Joe Campbell, our Executive Director of the Mountain Arts Center, but thank you very much. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Dr. Zilka. Thank you to Mayor Stapleton, Samantha Johnson. I want to thank Commissioner Storm and Fish and Wildlife guys and crew. Always great to work with. So thank you guys for tuning in and stopping by and checking everything out. Thank you.